Let me tell you about the most important app of this generation, because if you haven't got it yet, you absolutely need it. This is non-negotiable, lads, because for generations, men like me and you, we were able to view the female form online without persecution, without being made to feel like some sort of degenerate, being forced to scan our faces and enter our details as if we're doing something wrong. But in the UK, that is the new reality. That's the new normal. Well, not under my roof, it's not. And that is thanks to Surfshark. You see, I put my faith in Surfshark because it's a life-changing experience, this. And the best bit about it is its simplicity. You click on Surfshark on your phone, on your computer, on your app, whatever. Click I'm in America, 2 clicks, and boom. All of this nonsense that we're living with is removed, and I can be free to enjoy myself again without having to go through this nonsense. I'm a grown man, for God's sakes. And I can also enjoy football and boxing and fighting and other things that I can now have a little watch of. So if you want to cut through the red tape and enjoy your life to the fullest, download Surfshark immediately, right now. And when you do, please use my code. That would be great. Thanks. Just click the link in the description below, go to surfshark.com/kickoff, and you'll get 4 months extra of Surfshark added onto your deal for free. I've given you a lot of content over the years, lads, but just consider this is brotherhood stuff. Do you know what I mean? We got to look after each other in these times. And it's less than the price of a coffee a month, lads. So get it done. It's an easy win, and you'll enjoy it. Big love to the greatness of Surfshark, but for now, enjoy the video. Welcome back to the kickoff, and the unthinkable has happened, lads. KG knows what I'm on about. Josh knows what I'm on about. It's particularly bitter for them because the London lad, Jacob, is celebrating because Arsenal are absolutely winning this league. I predicted it. 22 years since the last time it's happened, and mate, it's there now. You've just got to see it through, and you're champions.
Listen, I'm not where you are yet. No. We're obviously in a great position. We got a big lead, but I don't know how much you watched of Arsenal's game, and it's a positive. But I'm convinced that both us and City are going to drop more points before the end of this season.
But not that many. When you look at it, look, I'm not going to allow them to do this, lads. I'm not going to allow this.
No.
Right?
No.
I'm sorry. You've lost 3 games in 31. You are not going to lose 3 games in the next 7. There's just no fucking way that, and that's what it's going to take. No way are you blowing this now. And actually, sometime, in as much as people have criticised Arsenal this season for the style of play or whatever, because there hasn't been that many like epic moments watching Arsenal this season. That even though it wasn't the winning goal officially, that Dowman moment, it really was like this is your time. Like when a 16-year-old kid runs the length of the pitch like that. And ironically, it kind of reminded me of the Tony Adams goal when he scored against Everton. Like it was just such a moment. What was going through your mind at that point? Like,
oh mate, it's chaos. I've not had a moment like that in the stadium. I mean, a few people have said it, but the Reece Nelson goal 3 seasons ago, in the first one where we were trying to win the title and City did catch us, like. And you got to give Dowman credit, by the way. It was him that made the first goal. Like, Gyökeres maybe taps it in, but it's all about his delivery. It's all about having a player on the pitch in that kid who, let's be honest with Arsenal, like, all of our forwards are out of form. None of them are lighting up the Premier League. Saka's out of form. Like, Kai Havertz coming back from injury. Trossard and Martinelli both look off it. Eze's had moments, but it's not been what we'd hoped from him. Ødegaard's nowhere near the team. And then this 16-year-old kid comes on and just gives us everything that the forwards haven't been giving us. He wants the ball. He's taking people on. He's getting shots off. And then the ball, for like, it sounds mental, but like, just seeing a 16-year-old strike the ball like that for that ball into the box when there's 26-year-old men on 200 grand a week who can't do it. It's like a breath of fresh air. And
there was other little things I noticed, Jacob, just to piggyback, mate. When Gyökeres scores, the way this 16-year-old kid just grabs him, like the fearlessness that he energy he has, and when he scored that goal and he volleys the corner flag, like fucking have it, like. I don't know how good this lad's going to be. None of us do, and there's some crazy talk going on, and I don't think you need to put that pressure on him. But it's just nice to watch. Just a young lad live like that.
And it's also it's nice to watch a player in an Arsenal shirt who doesn't feel inhabited by the pressure of trying to win the league. Who isn't like
he's the only one.
He's the only one who looks like he's got the bottle for this.
Yeah.
It sounds insane, but he's the only one who hasn't been scarred by 3 seasons of finishing second.
Yeah.
Who hasn't been scarred by being spoken about in the media for the last few years as being boring or whatever. The kid's come in. And he doesn't give a shit.
There's been a lot of criticism over the last few years of calling them bottle jobs. Some of it was really deserved at the time. But this is where we do have to take our hat off and go, like, you're not bottle jobs anymore. You are the pros now. You are the seasoned ones who grind out a hard game against an Everton side who are good away from home. They've been brilliant away from home this season. Yeah. And you did what champions do. And now it's City, it's Liverpool, it's Chelsea. These are the teams who have bottled their seasons. Josh, obviously, you're a Chelsea fan who doesn't care how you win a league as long as you do it. Do you feel the same way about Arsenal, like they deserve it?
Well, yeah, they definitely do deserve it. But I think the context is that the Premier League, in terms of the challenging for the title, has been probably one of the worst it's been in a very long time. Like Man City look completely off it. And I think the most annoying thing as a Chelsea fan that obviously hates Arsenal and definitely doesn't want them to win the league is that this feels like a bit of a dynasty building moment. And what I mean by that is Liverpool look absolutely nowhere near it. They're going to have to replace a manager and they're looking really, really poor. Man City are coming to an end of an era now with Pep. The best players are probably going to look to go when the 115 charges actually get, put through and we actually get an outcome of it and they actually finally relegate. And then Chelsea, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk more about us, so I won't labour this point now, but we're just absolutely dog shit. Yeah. Man United probably the only one that can challenge it, but I want to see what they're like in multiple competitions because this year they've played the fewest games since about 1935. And I would love to take that up with KG as well later on. So for me, it feels like Arsenal not only are going to win this title, but I can't see them.
As long as you respect the ball, I'm fine to do that.
Yeah.
Can I jump in on the Man City point? Because Josh is calling out the failed clubs who didn't mount a real challenge. Man City not only have what we've seen what they've done over the last few years, but Pep really threw all of that money at it to do everything he could, and he's had a really dodgy past few games where they've dropped points against Forest, West Ham, got battered by Madrid. I mean, this season is crumbling. Erling Haaland apparently has got 1 goal from open play this year. And I'm not putting all of that on him. Obviously, the service has got to be there. Pep is really, and this is where I have to give credit to Arteta, just seeing it through, because you can tell Pep is in panic mode and he's doing some weird things with the starting lineups, and I just think Man City are the ones who deserve the most criticism, really, because they
more than
Liverpool.
No,
well, I don't know.
I'll be honest. I actually wrote Liverpool off so long ago they're not even in my head, and we'll get onto them. But
they're the champions.
But what I mean is Man City actually had a chance of really pushing Arsenal, and they've blown it at a really weird time in a weird place. Like games against Forest, West Ham. When you've spent that kind of money and you're in the position you were in, Liverpool were out of it for a while, in my opinion. And we could definitely say that they deserve more criticism than City. I think that's a fair point. But I really feel like with Pep not having long left, it seems, I think he's going to be gutted at the way things are falling apart at this point in the season. When Arsenal stumbled against Wolves, we all thought and the City fans were saying it. We got the fucking pedigree. We've been there. We've done it. You're going to crumble now and we're going to go on a run. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans probably thought, that could easily happen. And that's not what's happened. Pep has gone mentally here, in my opinion.
But it's Pep's gone mentally. I mean, in terms of like his lineups and stuff, I see what you're saying. But I look at the players on the pitch, and in years gone by, the players where you would just rely on City just turning up in a run-in. But, it used to be the De Bruynes and the Gundogan's. Now you've got Bernardo Silva, who I think is performing. But at the top and bottom of the pitch, which is where I was terrified of City, I looked at the top and bottom, I looked at the striker in Haaland, I looked at the keeper in Donnarumma, and I thought for this run-in, they could just both go supernova and no one will stop them winning games. The complete opposite has happened. The Donnarumma signing looks mad now because he's not dominating in his area. He's not pulling off those shot-stopping saves that win you games. And Haaland's form, like, I've got to be honest, 4 weeks ago, I was looking at Haaland's form. I was going, right, he's had his quiet period. Now he's going to go on a purple patch like he always does. I don't know what I'm watching with him now. Like the shots he's taking off, it doesn't look like him. He's laying up chances to other people where he could be shooting himself. I mean, like, it used to be that you go into games with City and you go, you know what, Haaland is going to score. You just accept that. And you say, my team's going to have to score 1 goal to get an equaliser and 2 to win a game. That's just gone.
Chelsea, obviously, have had a bit of a blow against Newcastle in a really shocking moment, because Newcastle have been so poor this season. We'd lost against Everton prior to this. Our midfield lineup was the weakest midfield lineup I can remember in years. We had Jacob Ramsey, Joe Willock, and Volta Morda as a midfield 3. Miley, Joe Linton, Tonali, Bruno, all out of the side. And we're looking at this Chelsea team thinking they're going to rip us to shreds. And really, I mean, that goal that we scored against them, it was 4 passes to score the goal. It was shocking. And me and Joey and Josh were chatting away, and it was like, what is going on here? Josh, what are your thoughts after the game?
I'm now just not backing the manager at all. I'm Rosenior out. And it's got to the point where, yeah.
By the way, that's the news is reported today that is actually, they're considering.
That's a more likely,
him,
that's a likely outcome. So basically, what they're saying now is they don't see him as the man to lead the project. And I can understand why. Because basically every single performance that we've pretty much had under him has had one half where it has been the worst half of football that you've ever seen. There's nothing in attack. There's no way to break down a low block. Like, he's clueless. And, that's just the brutality of it. They've promoted a guy who shouldn't have been promoted. It was way too early. We all saw it. We all said it. We didn't feel that he was going to be good enough. We give him a chance when he comes in, because why not give anyone a chance at this point? But again, the project is just crumbling. The board have done their PR briefings. They've told us the world. They promised everything. They've said that they're going to get the best young talent in and build from there, but they just don't know what they're doing. We should have seen this when they were talking about 4-4-3 formations. We should have seen it. And again, we've been conned into it as Chelsea fans. And it's a bit of a thing now where I'm not even angry anymore. Like, I go to these games and I'm just a bit apathetic about it. I leave the thing and I just go, I don't really care anymore. And that's how bad it's gotten. There's people commenting online now and they're going, Chelsea's stadium isn't what it used to be. And I want to go back to those people and just say, you don't have a clue, because they've sucked the heart out of the club. Yeah. They've completely
There's no direction
it.
to me from the outside brutal. Looking in. Like, Chelsea always felt like, something will happen. And they've got some good players in the squad. It's not like they've got, obviously they've got problems, but I look at it and I go, yous have got better players than Newcastle, but at least we have some sort of identity, direction. I look at Chelsea and I go, that's a club going nowhere to me.
Do you know what it is, Brian? It's desire, though. Even in a season where you've been really poor and you're nowhere near where you should be in terms of the league, those players still turn up for a game and go, we can absolutely win this game. And again, it's not just an age thing with us. It's just also just a mentality thing. And this isn't what the data will ever prove.
I thought you were champions. Nah, boo. KG. No, you're not going to do this, because I've seen you on this show chatting shit. You and your mate, yeah? And let's get it right. Newcastle rested players because there was more focus on a bigger game that they had against Barcelona. They actually done the country proud, yeah? They said, we're getting to Europe, and guess what? Look what we're going to do. You lot are the world champions. You came home. We won everything. Respect us. When are they going to call us the big Chelsea? And I told you your club's run like a piece of shit. You told me, no, not like Man United. I remember shows. We were here together. And you was like, you'll never get into the top 4. Look at you now. Looking up at us.
KG, let me just ask you something. Let me just ask, who have you got in the FA Cup?
Listen,
I can't remember who you've got in the FA Cup.
Let me finish. Let me complete this. Your manager, the owner, was out there on the mains telling people, you know what? We didn't know what we was doing. I just signed what everybody else wanted. I just looked at the market and said, does Man City want him? Bring him in. And guess what? You're still doing it. 54 players signed under that man. 54. What have you got to show for it? Absolutely nothing. You lot are running like, you lot are a joke of a club. And now you're telling me you've had enough of that new manager. Where's that come from? What do you mean you've had enough?
I quite like Carrick, to be fair. So when you sack him, I might get him in.
Well, listen, mate, end of the day, you can have those conversations, but I don't even know if Chelsea got the minerals. I don't even know if they'll stick to that decision. This guy's got a 7-year contract, I swear. Where's he going? He's going. He has to stay.
Can I just give you guys a fact about? Let me just come back from KG
World
for a second. There's two facts on Man United.
Yeah.
They've played the fewest games since the league season was cut short in World War II. That's how fewer games they played this season.
Simple question: You played a lot of games. You're probably gonna play more games than us. Are we gonna win the same amount? Huh?
Mate, we could absolutely win the FA Cup, KG, unlike you, we could absolutely win the FA
Against
Cup.
Who are you going to beat?
We've got Port Vale. We could absolutely win it.
And then what's after that?
A team that we can beat.
I rest my case.
So just to come back on just the overall picture of Chelsea, we'll bring Jacob in as well. Obviously, you had your reservations at the start of the season, and KG, he's getting his licks in because Josh did say that Man United wouldn't finish. Obviously,
I just want to remember this date, 16th of March, because when we come back to this in 9 months' time, when Man United are fighting on all fronts, and then they're down in 8, I just want to remember this moment. And in fact, if anyone can timestamp this, just send it to me in 9 months' time.
No problem.
Do you know the mad thing is though? I think Chelsea and Man United are a really interesting combination of clubs because they have been run so similarly. For example, the appointment of Rosenior is a very Man United appointment. It's an unproven, guy in Europe. Maybe it'll work. We've got the next big manager, and it was a very Man United. Whereas I feel like Man United now are in a position at least
different
to move up a level, whereas I think the fact that Chelsea sacked the last manager, that was all of the evidence that I think we needed to go, you actually don't have a direction or a driving, this is going nowhere. So I actually think in a year's time, even with more fronts to fight on, and it will be harder, and I think it's a valid point, Josh, I just think there is some direction there, and the way they've operated in the transfer market has changed. Yeah.
I don't believe that Man United are going to go into next season and have the same success that they've had in this season. Like, you cannot say after going out in the first round of each of the competitions that they're going to have the squad that they need. Like, I'm going to say this now. I think Man United's first team is absolutely exceptional and they deserve to be where they are right now. But it's not going to be as easy. We have played more games this season, if you include the Club World Cup, which you absolutely should, because it finished 2.5 weeks before the season started. We didn't even have a pre-season. If you include that, we played more games than anyone has in any league season in history.
I know what you're saying, Josh. So I don't know where Man United are going to be this time next year. But what I will say is I know exactly where you're going to be. And you're going to be here every season, trying to knock on the door of Champions League, getting close. You've got some players who are going to leave in the summer. You're going to buy some more. And those players you buy this summer, we're going to have questions over them this time next year. They're going to be on 8-year contracts. You're going to sell some. Like, this is what you've built. This is what Clear Lake have done to Chelsea. You're a selling club. And ultimately, I look at that Chelsea team and to compare to Newcastle, who Brian will tell you haven't had the best season, but there's players in that Newcastle squad who represent and embody Newcastle. When I go to St. James's Park and it's Bruno and it's Joelinton and like even the defenders,
even Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy has a fucking great game.
But they give a shit about the club. Whereas I look at every single one of those Chelsea players. I'm like, I remember playing Chelsea years ago, and for want of a better phrase, you had like proper Chelsea men there, right? And it's not just
Jacob,
20 years ago.
The irony is they've got two proper Chelsea men in their wing-back positions.
Mate,
that's the worst fucking part.
Livramento and Lewis Hall are from Cobham. They're literally Chelsea.
Lewis Hall has to, mate, he has to be quality. England's left
Should we talk about Lewis Hall, actually? Because I think that's been a real big talking point in the week about, because he pocketed Lamine Yamal, and he didn't just pocket him, he played well on the ball as well. Like, he showed the complete game of a left back, and it was quite funny the way the whole of football kind of went, oh my God, this guy's the best new left back. And I'm like, I've been saying this for how long? Fucking hell. Yeah. And he's not just the best left back. He's actually just one of the best footballers England has. And he's 21 years old. He could play left wing, midfield. He could play anywhere. He's that type of player. And immediately, like with all Newcastle players right now, because it doesn't, we're not going to get Champions League. There's a lot of speculation transfer wise. They're going to want out, but he's 21 years old. And I do think it will be a massive mistake to sell him, but especially because people are talking about transfer fees like 60 million, 65 million. I'm like, he's 21 he's England's first choice left back for the next decade. What fee are you on about? Like, there really isn't a fee you can put on him. It's actually really hard to do that because
65 is nice. 65 is good.
Mate, shut the fuck up, man.
I'd pay 65.
Mate, you have the problem. When you've got, exactly, it says when you've got a player of that level where you're like, your left back worry is sorted for a decade, you have to look at it over that decade. You have to look at it like, I remember when Luke Shaw went to Man United for 30 million, the whole world lost their mind of like, what are they doing? The reason they did that is because in their mind, they didn't know he was going to be a fat, unfit kid for the next 10 years. They thought they were getting that guy, and Lewis Hall is that guy. It's exciting. I'm scared of people coming in to buy him though.
I wouldn't write off how far you go in the Champions League. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, looking at I'm telling you, I just had a feeling, that Barca, how you lot played PSG. Everyone you played, you're just strong. You're just strong, and they have a chance. I wouldn't give up on the Champions League thing just yet, personally.
If they hadn't have got that penalty, easy. I'd agree with you, but I think that penalty puts us in a really precarious position because now we have to go and win there, and like they beat everyone there by 3 goals for the last 7 games.
Is this summer a bit of a rebuild though? Because I'm looking at like Tonali coming out and saying that he wants a new challenge. Like obviously he's gone through his agent. I'm looking at a few of those players now that you're going to have to probably sell to reinvest. You know what PSR is like. So are you not a bit worried about the summer?
I think there has to be a massive rebuild because so many of the players that we've got have proven that they're not good enough. The worry is who's rebuilding it. Eddie Howe has his profile of player that he goes for. It's not that it's been terrible, but it's very hit and miss. And there's the identity that he's going for of fast runners. Every single time you end it up in a season where you have multiple games per week, those runners, they get tired and they're not able to compete at the level technically because they rely on athleticism so much, and your whole season falls to bits. This is the second time it's happened now, and it will continue to happen as long as Eddie Howe's in charge. That's the problem. But when we talk about players who are linked with moves away, I actually wrote a list down because these are all heavily linked. Anthony Gordon, which feels very likely. Tonali, very likely. Livramento, nailed on, right? So the other ones, Lewis Hall could happen. I mean, but yeah, those 3 I think are as good as gone. And the thing that they're all runners and they all help the identity of the side. And I think that's going to be a challenge for Eddie Howe to replace that, especially if he lets Anthony Gordon go, because he even though Anthony Gordon, for example, has got 2 Premier League goals from open play in the last 13 months, and we're playing him up front. And he's so wedded into like Anthony Gordon, he's the answer. And it's like the reliance of Eddie mentally on Gordon, I think, is something that it would be really healthy for him to have to part ways with Gordon, because it would force him into having to evolve with the team and not just being like, well, we'll just have fast pacey runners and that's the only thing we've got. I think he will just do the same again. I think he would look for exactly the same identity again. So I'm worried.
Was he disappointed that he didn't go in the Champions League? I saw like the starting line up, and it was like the fact that he's leaving Walmada and Vissa on the bench is still kind of shocking to me. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how
things going on.
They're expensive, and
he's killed Voltemada. And I'll say this, lads. I don't want to go on about it because I've made a whole YouTube channel about it at this point. I've never seen a manager destroy a player that much in my life. I think he deserves full responsibility. When you look at the way Arsenal have persisted with Gyökeres, the way Man United have persisted with Šeško, the way Atike has had stinkers for Liverpool, and they've been backed by their manager, because you need to have them on the pitch. Gyökeres under Eddie Howe doesn't score that goal against Everton because Eddie Howe would have bottled it. He wouldn't have the belief in him. Šeško under Eddie Howe would have been playing midfield by now this season. He wouldn't be getting those games, that character. He's destroyed him, and it's because he's not a brave enough manager to persist through the bad times, because he's just got the Anthony Gordon thing going on. But Wissa, on the other hand, it's on him. It's not on Voltemada. Voltemada in another club this season would have had an amazing season, and I'm pretty sure he'll go on to have a great career. Wissa, there's a lot of people in the fan base saying, well, he went and fucked himself by playing and getting an injury on these shit pitches, and he didn't look after himself when we signed him, and that was him to some degree. Bit of bad luck as well. But since coming back, he's been shit. Since coming back, he looks lazy. He looks unfit. Eddie's just dismissed him, and now we're in a situation where Eddie's got it in his head that Voldemort as a midfielder, which is absolute nonsense.
I can't believe that.
We're playing Osula up front ahead of Voldemort, which is absolutely insane. I mean, he had one great goal, but like, come on. And Anthony Gordon, who has 2 open play goals in 13 months in the Premier League. It's a really weird situation. I honestly, I don't care what happens. I don't care if Eddie Howe wins us the Champions League. I want him gone because I know that where we're going under Eddie Howe, which he's not winning the Champions League, but where we're going, it's hit its peak. There's no way beyond this because technically he's never going to be a possession-based manager, a technical manager. He's never going to be what we need to go to that next level that Arsenal found in Arteta, for example.
Do you not think that the league, though, is dominated by physicality right now? Like, I think we're in an era where physicality is beating technique. Like, we're not in the tiki-taka football way.
It's physicality plus technique. So when I look at Arsenal, they've got a really well-balanced side, and that's why they've beaten Man City. Whereas Newcastle, we're all power, no brains. Do you know what I mean? And that's Eddie Howe. He's just not got the brain. It's low IQ stuff under Newcastle. But because we're so strong, we're so fit, on any given day, we can draw against PSG, we can draw against Barcelona, we can give teams like Chelsea a tough time. But we can't do it over a whole season because the brain power isn't there. And that's what this Newcastle fan base, doesn't seem to get. And unfortunately, we're just going to go round in circles until a change is made, in my opinion. Like, for example, next season now, there'll be no European football. That's why I really want Europa League. I'm desperate for it. But maybe we'll have a rising again and we'll have a good season. But then once we have 2 games a week to play, it's back to square one because the legs won't be able to continue. We got to talk about Man United, though. Michael Carrick. Right, Michael Carrick. Since he took over, Manchester United are top with 1 less game played than Arsenal even, on 22 points, Arsenal 21, City 18, Chelsea 17. So like, it's been an unbelievable turnaround under Carrick. We have to give him credit. They beat a struggling Villa side 3-1. Villa, they're running out of steam. Obviously, they're competing on multiple fronts. They've got a small squad. It's catching up with them. But look, Bruno Fernandes breaks the assist record. What do we make of it, lads?
Bruno Fernandes is literally just amazing. He's an amazing player. Some of the passes, and it's the way he gets the team going. I know there's a lot of talk now. People are like, a lot of his goals have come from the goals, the open play ones and stuff like that. People are just trying to find reasons to bring him down. But the guy's, he's always been performing.
He's a game changer.
Since he's arrived.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We will move on to Liverpool, lads, because they have been, you said earlier on, they deserve the most criticism. For once, the rest of the league were going, go on, Liverpool. Go on, win.
Yeah.
Go on, Liverpool. Do you know, not because Liverpool are one of the most hated clubs, especially after they won the league. I don't know what happened to that club, but and I can say this because they came after Isak, but it was even the way they went about coming after Isak. It was the you'd think they'd won the league 10 times on the bounce, the way they were like swanning around as a club, right? And there was just an arrogance to them. And the fall has been amazing because that Spurs side, everyone, even Newcastle, away from home, we're terrible. We slapped them, this is a team where the manager's job's on the line. They've got so many injuries. And they scored the free kick, but they couldn't even get an open play goal. The actual fight that Spurs showed in that game, the lack of intensity from Liverpool, the fact that a young lad who was he's 17, maybe 18, Rio, best player. Like, it was an embarrassment. That was the moment where you're like, how is Arnie Slot keep his job after this? I mean, and I think he rested players thinking, we're good. We got to get the Champions League win because we're failing in that as well. And they just made him look like an absolute mug.
I mean,
they need to sack him, don't they?
We were all Liverpool fans yesterday, weren't we? And
Definitely.
I tell you what, it gives you a little bit of sympathy for what they've done this season because that is not an easy team to support for 90 minutes.
Honestly.
They must be, in terms of like the worst champions we've seen in the Premier League.
Easy.
Obviously, people will talk about Leicester and what happened after their title win, but it's different with a club like Leicester, not to sound patronising, but this Liverpool team, like the full, and it's like we said at the start, where it's like, oh yeah, City have been so poor this season. We're not even talking about Liverpool.
I didn't even remember.
How insane is that?
450 million spent. I didn't even remember them.
450 million spent, and mate, 6-7 games into this Premier League season, we thought they'd won it again.
And that's what makes it worse. That's what makes them the worst champions, is the money they spent and the way they won the title. They wrapped the title up very early on last season. That's what makes this a fall. And you've got people like Mike Owen going, I think Liverpool are the best side. And like before this game, he did they asked him, who's the best team in the league? He went, well, I think over the last few seasons, overall, it's Liverpool. And it's like, actually, no. Like, yeah, they had a really good season last season, but overall, Arsenal are way stronger than them. And that game just showed all of the weakness. And for me, the worrying thing, if I was a Liverpool fan, would be that Jurgen Klopp identity. It's the heart of it's being ripped out of that side. And the things that we used to associate with Liverpool, the intensity, the like heavy metal football, it's gone, man. It's not coming back either. It is gone. They're finished.
They've lost 9 times in the Premier League. Yeah, I think it's 14 in all comps. These guys are supposed to be these guys are the champions, and they've lost to relegation fodder. They lost to Wolves, guys. Wolves that was searching for a point. Wolves have only beaten West Ham, Aston Villa and Liverpool. But we're talking about Liverpool that strengthened. We're talking about, who did they bring in? They brought in Florian Wirtz. They brought in Isak, Ekitike. They brought in Frimpong, who's the one that plays on the other side as well. Kirkes. These lot, they literally said, we're going to be the money club. We'll sign who we want. We'll get what we want. Yeah, we're building something. They messed up around on Gahey as well. Should have brought him in. And you still got the defender, Virgil van Dijk, doing nonsense because these guys have conceded late goals. How many? I think they might have the record this season.
Yeah, this is the most late goals they've ever conceded in the season.
But he's the greatest defender ever, apparently. Like, there's stuff going on that needs to be looked at. These guys are supposed to be the champions. And again, Tottenham, we might as well say, look like a relegated side. But you let those guys get something. Crystal Palace gave them a spanking. Everyone has been spanking Spurs. And then you lot allow them to get a point. It's embarrassing.
Spurs had more than double the shots on target. Spurs had more than double the shots on target. Tudor didn't even recognize Slot. Tudor didn't even recognize Slot. He didn't even. That's how you know you've got no aura. He just went to any bald guy. Could have been you, Brian. He could have went up to you and gave you the hug me. This is how mad it was. Genuinely, I looked at that and I thought they might as well hire that guy and take over from Slot. He'd probably do no worse. I mean, and I've seen a list on X the other day. 4 points dropped the Leeds, 3 points dropped the Wolves, 3 to Forest, 3 to Palace, 3 to Bournemouth, 2 to Burnley, 2 to Spurs. You know, and even Slobozai, who is their best player this season by a mile, we have to wake up, because if we carry on like this, we should be happy with the Conference League. When your top player comes out with a statement like that, that would worry me. Like, because you know, and this is the thing that Liverpool have got, you know, kind of like Newcastle, right? Newcastle have got a lot of players right now who've come to the club and they're like, I didn't come here for no fucking Europa League, Conference League. I came here because you sold me the dream that this was the rocket ship, right? And that's what we're going to have to face this summer. I bet you there's a few Liverpool players who are going, I came here to win fucking league titles, right? I didn't come here to struggle to qualify for the Champions League. And that's where the selfishness of some of these players is going to have to kick in. And Liverpool might be in a difficult situation if Real Madrid starts sniffing round or whoever.
Do you know what it is as well? I think a lot of these contracts now are incentivized. So I think a lot of them will drop down in terms of the cash they earn. And therefore it will be easier for someone like a Real Madrid to come in and poach them. So yeah, look, it's the end of an era for Liverpool, isn't it? Like the Mo Salah era is very much now done. Like, you know, you've got a 17-year-old starting ahead of him. You know, yeah, as you say, the Van Dijk era, like how much longer has Alisson got in the Prem as well? So they're going to have to reinvent themselves and they're going to have to do it quick. And if they don't, then they're going to have to get used to the Europa League, because
they just want a new manager. The problem is, the Liverpool players have given up on Slot. That's what it comes down to, because you shouldn't be conceding goals in the way they are. They want something new and they know what's available. It's Xabi Alonso, the fans, the players and the board have just not even cotton onto the idea that they want change. You're hearing how they act and how they feel and how they're going about stuff. They should be getting through these games. But I think they just don't want to carry on with this guy. And if he does get Champions League, he really stays, really. And it's like, without a shadow of a doubt, I feel that players have down tools and not put in performances that the manager probably deserves, but that's their issue.
Hopefully there's some miracles for all of us in the Champions League, especially Josh, bless him. I think
we're out. So just to clarify, we're out. So don't worry about us. We don't need to chat about Chelsea.
Oh, God bless him. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the Kickoff. We'll catch us on the next one.